morning's incredible results come from our second cut into the 888 discovery, which we announced in July. 888 was a very impressive discovery at 28 meters of over 20 grams. We now have 4 mineralized zones and an upper zone just outside of what we think is now about a 90-meter wide structure. Now we're going to take a closer look at some of the drill core in those zones. Starting with some of these upper boxes in the zone, we're just coming into the 888 mineralized zone, the big 87-meter structure. Sulfides are ranging from disseminated to stockwork to patchy mineralization to near massive sulfides. We have up to sort of 60 to 70% semi-massive sulfide in sections. Integrated sphalerite in places, little spits and bursts of calco. We've seen, I think, approximately 60 or 70 different sites of visible gold in different locations within the different zones. Very similar to what we saw in the initial discovery hole in 888. We'll go over to this other side. Here we're in the one of these heavy sulfidic zones. You can see that we're dealing with somewhere between, probably 20 and 30%, predominantly pyrite in places. There are flecks of visible gold locally. We've got specks of chalcopyrite, a little bit of sphalerite. Again, identical to what we saw in the initial 888 discovery, but what we didn't have with that first hole was this big wide structure. It's now ballooning out into this almost 90-meter wide structure, and we've got 4 distinct zones. It's what you want to see in a world-class deposit is just absolute destruction of whatever the host rock used to be. In this case, we're dealing largely with andesites and some of the porphyries. But a tremendous amount of sulfide. The rock has really been damaged, it's been hammered. And this is just a beautifully strong system. We loved it as a 28-meter wide zone, but we really love it as a 90-meter wide zone. That's
better to get it like that.
Yeah, yeah. There's some pretty good implications as far as the size of this system, and really we think we're getting down into the inner plumbing of our whole Windfall intrusive system, and what's been pushing that gold up into the porphyries and the andesites. Today's new results from the 888 discovery come from our second wedge in hole 1603, one of our deep exploration holes under the Windfall deposit. We've intersected a zone of alteration and mineralization very similar to what we got in the discovery hole announced back in July. But this time we're dealing with a corridor that looks like it's about 142 meters wide with 5 subzones of mineralization. Within that main zone we have a corridor of about 80-85 meters containing 2 zones of high-grade mineralization. Similar to when we discovered some of the other zones at Windfall, it was the alteration that eventually led us to the mineralized zones with the high grade. We think we're starting to see that here as well in the 888 zone. It's all located within this blank spot here. It's obvious we have a lot more drilling to define what's going on here. We think we understand geologically what's happening, and we're very excited about pursuing this. We believe we're on to another world-class discovery here at Windfall with the discovery of the 888 zone and today's results from this second wedge of hole 1603. World-class discoveries are no stranger to our group of exploration professionals. Within our group we have people who've discovered somewhere between 90 and 100 million ounces of gold at the drill bit over the last 15 years with discoveries like Colosa, Canadian Malartic, and Eleanor. We believe Windfall is our next world-class deposit.